if you have a property, could be a house, could be a multifamily, commercial, doesn't matter what it is, what's the best route to take? Should you sell it to pull the cash out to reinvest if you want to grow and scale and move into different or bigger properties? Should you refinance the property, pull your equity out and keep going? Or should you take out a line of credit on the property and go that way? So a lot of it is going to depend on, number one, how much equity you have in the property. If you sell the property, then you're going to have a capital gain situation you have to deal with. So you have to look at doing a tax exchange and assessing the cost of doing the tax exchange, the time constraints, and whether or not you have adequate supply of replacement property inventory to choose from within the time constraints of a 1031. So that's the consideration there. What's the time frame, what's the available inventory, and what's the cost of a 1031 versus just taking the gain and then doing what you want to do when you're ready to do it. Refinancing. So refinancing is going to boil down to how much equity do you have in the property, because you can't refinance 100% of your equity. Most lenders are only going to let you take 75 to 80%. They might go up to 90 depending on your bank and who you're refinancing with. And then you have to be able to make sure that you're pulling enough equity out and you can still cash flow or break even with enough reserves to cover any issues that may arise if you refinance and keep the property. But that can be a good strategy. That's the BRRRR strategy: buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat that you hear about. That can be used with any type of property, any size property. That's what we've all been doing for, well, since the beginning of investing in property. It's not a new thing. It's just a new acronym for what's been going on forever. So that is a viable strategy. It's a viable option. It's the best of all worlds in a lot of cases. You refinance, you pull your equity out tax-free, you still own the property, and you continue to build equity if you are amortizing that loan payment for the future. Your third option is to do an equity line and pull equity out through an equity line, and that way you can use it and pay it back, use it, pay it back, and you only pay on an equity line for what you're using at the time. So the interest doesn't rack up all year round, it racks up only while you have it out. So those are three strategies and three things to consider when it comes to pulling equity out of a property, and which one is right for you is going to depend on your personal situation, your ability to borrow the equity you have in the property. You don't want to leave equity locked up in your property. That is free money. So you want to free it up. However, that best suits your situation, your tax situation, your amount of equity you have, and your goals for the future.